Too much of a good thing can quickly become a bad thing. Hi, my name is Hermesch, and today I'm going to address a very controversial topic that is very prevalent in today's society: the effect of video games. I'm willing to bet that everyone has seen the influence or been influenced by video games at some point in their life. Maybe you once saw a child playing video games using one of these or one of these and said, "Wow, that looks like a lot of fun." Or maybe you said the exact opposite: "Wow, what a waste of time." Whatever your response, no one can deny that video games have an effect on the users. But what I want to address today is whether those effects are generally good or bad by looking at some of the effects. I've written multiple papers on this topic and have also argued with my parents on multiple occasions about this topic. These aspects have contributed to me being able to talk to you about this today. In order to effectively address this topic, we should first address some of the statistics behind video games. According to Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary, a video game is an electronic game in which players control images on a video screen. And according to Thesa.com, 60% of Americans play video games daily. These facts make it clear that everyone is affected in some manner by the presence of video games in our culture. Today, I will try and persuade the audience that video games can be very beneficial because they help with the ability to multitask and think quickly, to work as a team, and to use problem solving. Which leads me to my main point. Video games can improve multitasking and quick thinking. Video games, such as Call of Duty, require a lot of quick thinking on the part of the player in order to be successful. When the player is playing Call of Duty, they are constantly being required to make smart, split-second decisions in order to succeed. Additionally, in games such as Forza Motorsport, a racing game, the reflexes that are required and the need to quickly evaluate all the available options and then rapidly execute their decision trains the user's brain to be able to do this. Not only does this aspect make the game fun, but it is also something that is heavily required in today's world. And according to Daphne Bavelier, a cognitive researcher on the topic, action game players make more correct decisions per unit of time. If you're a surgeon or you're in the middle of a battlefield, that can make all the difference. Video games also teach helpful skills like multitasking. In a strategy game, such as Sims, where you are developing a city, an unexpected challenge might emerge. The player then has to be flexible and divert energy to solving that problem. Shooting games can also help with this, as it requires to often be running and shooting at the same time. This requires the player to keep track of the character's position, where the character is heading, the speed in which they are doing so, where the gun is aiming, if they are hitting the enemy with their fire, and so on and so forth. The brain takes all of these factors into account and then makes the appropriate decision on how to act. A skill such as multitasking is extremely valuable today and is a very profitable skill. Now that we know a little bit about the cognitive effects of video gaming, I am going to address one of the best effects of video gaming, and that is teamwork. Video games are fun and effective team-building tools. Video games such as Team Fortress 2 involve cooperating with online players which they may have never met before in order to succeed. Not only does this game teach how to relate with people who are strangers, but also teaches people how to use their strengths to benefit their team of people. Also, video games such as Fortnite are great at teaching teamwork. In Fortnite, there's the option of having teams of 2 or 4 in order to conquer other teams and be the last man standing. While playing the game, a player may need ammo for their gun or building supplies. The team must then work together to address such a deficit. The team will also be required to at some point effectively conquer an enemy team by coordinating attacks from different positions so that they may emerge victoriously. Now that you have seen how video games boost team building, I am going to move on to how they teach problem solving. Video games are teachers of problem solving and logic. When a child is playing a game like Angry Birds or Candy Crush, the child is unknowingly training their brain to come up with creative solutions to puzzles and problems. For instance, in a game like Angry Birds, the user is required to use certain birds as ammo to take down an opposing fortress made by pigs. While the concept of this game may seem silly at first, it teaches children to use real-world physics to solve the problem of defeating the dastardly pigs that oppose them. Video games also teach you how to learn from your mistakes. For instance, in a game like Minecraft, if you jump from a cliff and don't reach the other end, you then learn the hard way that there are certain distances that are too long to jump across. The player must then find a way to span the gap without injuring themselves in the game. A skill like this one is one that is used constantly in the real world and extremely beneficial. Today I have addressed the topic of whether video games are good or bad by addressing some of the effects of video games, such as the development of multitasking and quick thinking, teamwork, and problem-solving capabilities. I hope that today I have convinced you that in the right amounts, video games can actually be beneficial to the person playing them. So as you go forward, I ask you to reevaluate your position on video games so that the next time you see someone you know playing a video game, you will regard it as more than a potential waste of time. Thank you for your time.